Hello and welcome. Today, we are diving into some super important German words, the ones you'll need for all your personal details. For filling out forms, introducing yourself, getting these right is absolutely key. So let's get into it. So picture this. You've just moved to Germany, and one of the very first official things you have to do is your Anmeldung. That's just registering your address. Now, it can sound a little intimidating, right? But trust me, once you know the vocabulary, you are going to walk in there and handle it like a pro. Think of this as your personal cheat sheet. So here's our game plan. We'll start with what this whole registration thing is all about. Then we'll cover the basics like your name and nationality and what to call your documents. After that, we'll break down a German address, talk about personal status, and then wrap it all up with a quick review of the must-know words. Okay, first things first. Let's talk about the main concept here. Die Personalien. Try saying that with me. Die Personalien. This is basically the official German word for all your personal details. It's the collection of info that, on paper, makes you, well, you. All right, on to section 2. This is all about your name and nationality. These are probably the very first things anyone will ask for, so getting them right is going to make a great first impression. Let's break this down. For Mr. or Sir, you'll say der Herr. That's der, H-E-R. For Mrs. or Ms., it's die Frau, die Frau. Pretty simple. Now, your name in general is der Name, der Name. Your first name is der Vorname, der Vorname. A good way to remember this is that vor means before, so it's the name that comes before your last name, which brings us to der Nachname, der Nachname. You guessed it. Nach means after. See? It all makes sense. Oh, and here's a quick tip. You're going to see 2 different words for your last name. Der Nachname is the one you'll hear and use all the time in normal conversations. But then there's der Familienname. Der Familienname. This one's a bit more formal, the kind of thing you'll see printed on official paperwork. But for all practical purposes, they mean the exact same thing. Okay, let's talk about where you come from. Nationality is pretty straightforward. Die Nationalität. Die Nationalität. But then you get this big one, die Staatsangehörigkeit. Whoa. Let's tackle it together. Staatsangehörigkeit. One more time. Die Staatsangehörigkeit. This means citizenship, and you will definitely see this on official forms. And then we have die Heimat, die Heimat. This also means homeland, but it has a much warmer, more personal feeling, like where your heart is. Moving right along to section 3. You've got the words to say who you are. Now you need the words for the actual documents that prove it and the official actions you will be taking. Here are the big 3 you'll need. Your ID card is der Ausweis, der AWS-Weis. Your passport is der Pass, der Pass. And your visa is das Visum, das Visum. Hey, look at that! The last 2 are super close to English. The language is helping us out here. And this is just so important. When you get to Germany, you have to sich anmelden. Sich anmelden. That means to register yourself. The noun for it is die Anmeldung, the word we started with. But here's the kicker. When you eventually leave Germany for good, you have to do the opposite. Sich abmelden. Sich abmelden. You have to deregister. Think of an as arriving or turning something on, and up as leaving or turning it off. You have to do both. Don't forget. All right, section 4. This is a key piece of your Personalien, so let's make sure you know exactly how to talk about where you live. This lays it out just like you'd write it. First, the whole thing is die Adresse, die Adresse. The street is die Straße, die Straße. That's followed by the house number, die Hausnummer, die Hausnummer. Then you have the 5-digit postal code, which is die Postleitzahl, die Postleitzahl, but you'll almost always see it abbreviated as PLZ. And finally, your city or town is der Wohnort, der Wohnort. It literally means living place. Makes sense, right? We're almost there. Let's get into the final details that you'll be asked for on those forms. Stuff like marital status, gender, and your birth info. This whole category is called der Familienstand. Der Familienstand. So if you're single, you are ledig. Ledig. If you're married, that's verheiratet. Verheiratet. Divorced is geschieden. Geschieden. And widowed is verwitwet. Verwitwet. The official term for gender you'll see on forms is das Geschlecht. Das Geschlecht. And the options are usually männlich for male, männlich, and weiblich for female, weiblich. Last but not least, your birth details. You'll notice they all start with Geburts, Geburts, which means birth. So your place of birth is der Geburtsort, der Geburtsort. Your year of birth is das Geburtsjahr, der Geburtsjahr. Now pay close attention to these last two because they're easy to mix up. Your official, on the document's date of birth is das Geburtsdatum, but the day you celebrate with cake and presents, that's your Geburtstag, der Geburtstag. It's a small difference in the word, but a pretty important one in real life. Phew, we have covered a ton of ground. So before we wrap up, let's do a really quick review to help lock in those most essential words. You ready? Let's do a rapid-fire round. Registration, die Anmeldung, your last name, der Nachname. That big one, citizenship, die Staatsangehörigkeit, your ID card, der Ausweis. Address, die Adresse. And your official date of birth, das Geburtsdatum. Fantastic work. And there you have it. That form doesn't look so scary anymore, does it? Now you're looking at words you actually understand and, more importantly, that you can say with confidence. You are totally equipped to state exactly who you are. You've got this.